Hi, everybody. It's Kevin with my best friend, Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, everyone.
I'm actually doing this video from New York City where it's cold and snowy and I love the snow. I got to tell you that, Steve. I'm a big snow guy. Every time it snows, I just look out the window and I'm just amazed by the beauty. I used to love to go out in it, but now I've gotten old and I'd rather watch it from the comfort of my own house. But I still have that sense of wonder and amazement whenever it snows. But that kind of leads me into the discussion topic that we have, which is to connect with your inner child. And I think it's important as a tool for people to connect with their spirit self, which I think has a childlike aspect to it. And so that's sort of the focus of, I think, what we want to talk about this week. Is that okay with you, Steve?
That's good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I think as adults, we have a tendency to kind of get mired in the day-to-day responsibilities that we have. And certainly those responsibilities are important. But I think that oftentimes we lose sight of the fact that there are so many wondrous things around us. And I think it helps to have sort of a kid-like wonder and awe and joy of the simple things that come to us each and every day. And to the extent that we can appreciate those things with that sort of mindset of wonder and awe, I think that helps to sort of lighten our days. Do you think so, Steve? I mean, am I kind of on the right track with that?
Yes, I definitely agree. And I just want to add right here for everyone out there that Kevin he's the epitome of the childlike adult. And
Are you,
I say that because he's gifted and always has been ever since I've known him as a kid at being able to bring forth that child in himself. And then here as an elder, still able to do that. And I'm not quite as good at it, but I recognize the value in it. And it's so important to be able to, from time to time, let go of that adult responsible, and I don't mean to be irresponsible, but to let go of that part of us that has to always be making sure that we're working towards something and accomplishing something, and those typical adult-like intentions. It's easy to get down amidst all of that. As you mentioned, Kevin, it's very valuable to maintain that kid-like perspective, at least from time to time, and let go of the adult worries. And granted, that can be difficult because we all do have responsibilities. And there are times when we don't love ourselves enough to allow that. But I think if we remember that none of us are perfect and none of us always do it right. And if we can just let the worries and the weight of the day-to-day kind of fall to the side from time to time and just laugh and enjoy, it's a good thing to do. And I'm laughing at the telephone ringing in the background.
it's awesome. Yeah, it's actually nature calling, because I was going to mention that nature provides us often with the chance to be filled with wonder and awe, whether it's a butterfly landing on our shoulder or walking around a corner on a path and seeing a beautiful waterfall, or even a sunset, a beautiful sunset. I think oftentimes we're noticers of those things, but if you can actually sort of stand in awe of something like that and spend a few seconds just being amazed by it, I think it can really touch a deep part of yourself. And I think laughter is also another thing that's super important. I think kids laugh so easily, and as adults, we can sometimes it's harder for us to let go and to laugh, whether it's because we're worried about how other people will view us if we're laughing out loud at something, But I think laughter is a really important part of the puzzle.
I agree. There are times when, I might be looking on Facebook at the various things that have been posted, or it could be on TV, bloopers or something like that. It's just silly, and it makes me laugh, even if I'm not in the mood for laughing. And I find that in doing that, it's almost therapeutic to kind of move that energy through your system and kind of clears out some of the gunk. So I agree that laughter is very valuable from a personal balance and overall well-being perspective.
Oh, interesting that you bring up the word balance, Steve, because I was going to mention to everybody that you've just recently purchased something that requires a bit of balance. What is that, Steve?
Well, and actually, play might be the first inspiration. What Kevin's referring to is a unicycle. I just felt inspired, and I can't even say exactly where that came from. It was like, what do I want to do? Something different. Unicycle. But aren't you kind of old for starting something like that? And it's like, don't worry about it.
No.
Just do it. And so I followed that inspiration. And granted, I've got a ways to go. I'm still pretty clumsy on it. Can't get more than a few feet without falling off it. But I'm taking care of myself. I'm not injured yet. But in now having done that for a while and looking back on it, I see some value in other areas in my life that I wasn't even expecting. And what Kevin's referring to, I mentioned to him that I'm looking at it as an opportunity to learn balance. On a unicycle, you need to balance yourself, and you go one way and you got to learn to go the other way, and you go the other way, and then you got to learn to come back forward and then backwards. And it's a good analogy for what we need to do in other parts of our lives, our spiritual, our mental lives, is to find balance. When we go too far in one direction, we go back in the other. So anyway, that's just something that I wasn't expecting, an added benefit that's come out of this playful inspiration. So anyway, we'll see where that goes, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
I think that's cool, Steve. I mean, how many 60-year-olds actually go out and buy a unicycle and say, hey, I'm not too old to ride this thing. I'm going to give it a shot. And who knows? There's a circus maybe out there that could use your talents. So
yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm not too anxious to do that, but if I can get to go 10 feet on it, I think that'll be an accomplishment.
All right, I'm counting on it, buddy. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out. I think you're right, Steve. I'm really good at touching the inner child part of myself in a nice way. But it's not as easy for other people. But I do think it's a tonic that can actually make life better if you can find a way to add that to even just a small part of your life. So thanks for sharing your story, Steve. And I hope others can share their stories of how they touch the inner child part of themselves. And I'd be interested to know that.
Great. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing your perspective on that, because you've always had a very good perspective, and you've helped me actually to laugh, and a lot of times when otherwise I wouldn't have. So I appreciate that in you very much.
You're welcome, buddy.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and we certainly encourage you to add anything that you feel would, contribute to this subject matter in any way.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.